Hey guys, this is the next paint over video, and it's by Natural Fur on DeviantArt, and it is a Star Wars character holding a child, and I haven't seen the new Star Wars, and I don't know what this is, so hopefully I didn't mutilate the armor or the characteristics that make it this character, because I did change some of the colors in the armor and the clothes. So first I had to fix the gesture in the adult, and the arm was a bit wonky and the armor didn't really fit onto it, the arm or the torso, from what I could see. So I looked up some reference images to see how it is put together, and modified it to what I thought would work better. If you see the two pieces on the shoulder of the original, I don't think they would work. I mean, it wouldn't let the person move very easily, at least from what I can tell, because they would hit each other if you lifted your arm. So I removed the bottom one. The reference images only had one as well, so maybe this is a different one. Anyway, so I also added some more colors. I liked the original colors, but I thought it needed a few more to make it more interesting to look at, and just as highlights and shadows and stuff to make it less flat. Here I am fixing the visor, which on the original is just a straight line across on the top, and that makes it look very flat as well. If you can see on mine, I made a curve, because whenever you're drawing clothing or armor, just think of what's under it and know that not only does it have to curve around the body or head, it also has its own thickness. So like the arm gauntlet is pretty thin. The arm is supposed to be under that, so the arm would be extremely thin. It would be just like a bone. So I made the whole thing a lot bigger. Maybe it's supposed to be a woman under there, but still, she still needs some flesh. Then I also made the torso a bit wider, and the shoulders for sure a lot wider. They should be at least wider than the hips, at least somewhat. I mean, everyone's different, but it'll look better if it's like that. At least that's my taste. I think I'm trying to make the armor look more used. Like I added some scratches and stuff where the light catches it, and like there's little lines and things to make it look like it got scuffs and like hit with, I don't know, when they're fighting or something. And the hands were a bit too small, so I redrew them, and the arm that's further away from us that we can't see, if you imagined it, would be a little bit weird. I think that, do you ever have hidden limbs like that? Just draw it underneath and then erase it, and you'll get the positioning better. Also remember that you can add highlights and shadow, and it'll make it look a lot less flat everywhere and more 3D or realistic. And oh yeah, whenever I have dark hair, I don't just have black, flat black, because again it makes it look flat. I always try to have some variations and little hairs here and there so you can tell what it is. And usually hair is not just black, it each has some brown in it. And this is a mistake. I cut the child out and onto a second layer, and when I put it back, I painted the leg over the arm, which is not correct, and it looks really weird, and I only noticed later, so I fix it later on at the end. But for now, it's going to look weird. And the child's legs are not really correct in mine, because if you look at where his butt would be, it doesn't really line up with the leg and the torso. But anyway, it will be fixed later. And the arm was slightly too long, especially from the shoulder to the elbow. Children's proportions are different, and yeah, they're kind of just stubbier, and he was a little bit thin, so I also made him a little rounder. And I changed the hand to a more natural position. Now I'm working on the skin tones, some reds and greens in there, more details on the hair, and a little pinky. And then I wasn't sure if the feet had shoes on them or socks, so I just had them be socks, and I thought it would be fun to have one of them kind of falling off. And don't be afraid of adding a lot of colors like they wouldn't think would be there. The more different variations of hues and colors, and the more interesting it'll look. Make sure there's some harmony, of course, but that's also taste. Use some color dodge on a separate layer to make those brighter spots, and then I go back and erase it because usually go too far with it. Really fun to do the armor on this guy, and makes me think that I should probably watch the new Star Wars, even though the ones before that kind of scarred me and I didn't feel like watching the next ones. But I heard they were better, so okay, here I'm fixing that leg. It's gone. Adding in some scratches again to the gauntlet, and see how much bigger it is than the original? That's because, again, there's an arm under there and it has to fit. So that's it, and thanks for watching. Bye. Oh yeah, if you want your artwork painted over, then follow directions in the description below, and see you next time.